Welcome to another episode of Core Discussions. My name is Legacy.
And my name's Max.
Vitamin J.
And my name's Hunter/Mountain.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode. We are doing a recap of our reaction to WrestleMania 38, the two-night event. We are recording this the Tuesday after WrestleMania. All right, gentlemen, you ready to discuss some WrestleMania?
Let's
Yep.
do it.
Ready?
All right, so the first match we're going to discuss was the Usos defeating Shinsuke and Boogs.
Yeah, well, I think the first thing to know is that it's a shame that Boogs got injured during this match, which I didn't think it was real at first. I thought it was
Yeah.
the intended thing. Um,
Yeah.
I
Didn't
think
he
it was,
obliterate his knee pretty much?
Yeah, but it
it's-
seemed like the way he did it, it really seemed like it was like part of the match until because it seemed like the storyline was just Shinsuke was going to be on his own and he lost because Boogs got hurt during the match. But
because
yeah.
Boogs had Boogs was working a knee injury coming in, right? Wasn't that the
He had the injury, but then he did a singles match with an Uso. I can't remember which one, and then he revealed that his leg was fine.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I'm just glad to see Shinsuke on pay per view. It's rare.
Yeah, it's been rough for your boy.
The Usos picked another dub up. Yeah, not much to it.
Shout out to Bloodline.
Yeah, bloodline.
Yep.
Next one we'll go into, we're still on day one, is going to be Drew McIntyre defeated Happy Corbin with Madcap Moss by pinfall.
I think we can all agree. Finally, they ended this feud. Finally,
Yes,
or
but
so we think.
I thought you were just going to be eager to jump at mentioning the WrestleMania moment we all witnessed of McIntyre kicking out at the end of days.
Well, that was the highlight of the first night, right?
You got your Brock Lesnar's beating the Undertaker. To me, though, the end of the days getting kicked out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's
You
the
marked out
only
for that
one. The only one.
I was actually pretty excited because I knew it was coming, obviously, because it's like, oh, they're not going to have Corbin win this feud, but I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. They're going to have the first ever kick out at the end of the days of
You know.
WrestleMania. I know a lot of people don't like the Corbin and Madcap Moss shtick, but I like it. I don't know.
It's fine. I just want Drew McIntyre to do something else.
Yeah. It's not at Drew McIntyre's level. Like, Drew McIntyre definitely should be on a higher level, but I'm glad the feud's over because they've been going since it might even be September, October.
It's been a long time.
Too long.
But yeah.
But I mean, it was a fairly decent match. Nothing anyone's going to really remember, but besides the kick out of the end of days, finally an end to a feud that no one really cared about.
All right, the next one we're going to go into YouTube star Logan Paul and the A-lister defeating Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio.
This is 2 years in a row that a celebrity has done quite well in a tag match, and I mean both of them involving the Miz. But Logan Paul surprised me with how well, and he took to it well. The heel he was getting when he did the Three Amigos.
Yeah, he was doing good with that.
When he did the Three
And then he
Amigos
did
and
the
then
Eddie shimmy.
he did the shimmy for the frog splash. Oh man, he got good heat.
Yeah, I agree. He did really well, and I wouldn't be upset to see him again wrestle the Miz. I thought he handled himself well.
Did you see that?
Supposed to come back.
After the match,
He did for a
after the
little.
match, he took the Skull Crusher finale for Miz, and apparently, from what I've read, is Logan Paul wants to be a face. I'm like, I don't know if the crowd's ever going to want you to be the face.
There's no
We'll
way
see.
because I thought at the end it was the Miz turning face.
Yeah,
not turning
so
heel.
apparently it's because Paul wants to play a face, but we'll see.
That's
it's
just
gonna
not
be
gonna
It's
interesting.
work.
going to take a lot to turn
Yeah.
him. You can, but it's
I
going
mean,
to take
yeah,
a lot.
it can happen in the wrestling world if he keeps wrestling matches and shows that he's taken to it because he's clearly been practicing. Maybe eventually I can see people cheering for him, but I mean, it's
Well,
going
it's
to have
just
to matter on the opponent, and it's going to matter on what he says on his promos.
yeah. Well, it's just for me. If he wanted to turn a face after this match, then he probably shouldn't have been taunting Rey Mysterio being Eddie Guerrero, who's like a wrestling legend. You know.
Well, I think.
That's the
Well,
that's
I don't think
stuff.
he's a full face. Yeah, I think they're gonna eventually over time turn him into one because he says he wants to be here for a while. He says he could see himself doing it full time. I don't know. I'm like, man.
I mean,
Well,
he's got the physique for it.
And I'm interested with them I'm just hoping after this match, they're really gonna split up the Mysterio soon.
Same.
Because I'm like Dominic. I feel like there's more, and I'll care more once he leaves Ray. Like, go ahead, do the
Well,
storyline where he
Dominic
turns
lost in
himself
30
into
seconds to The
development.
Miz the next night on Raw.
So,
So I mean, like, where can
so
he go? He's gonna have to turn heel.
He needs to put the mask on, and then people care about him.
give us what we want.
Yeah,
Give us
kind
what
of.
we want.
Mysterio versus Mysterio. Let's get it.
I
Mhm.
mean, that might be where his head. That might be a good feud down the line.
I mean, that's really the only thing interesting with Dominic that I can think of. I'm not
Yeah.
really interested in him personally.
Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
it'd be like father versus son, and then like son beats dad and takes his mask or something.
That'd be a decent way to retire Mysterio. Maybe build that up for next WrestleMania.
yeah, that'd be a good way. I'm sure Mysterio will be up for it to have his son, be the one to.
Well, I mean, he's pushing 50 now. It's about
Yeah.
time he lays low.
Yeah. The next match we'll talk about is one of the better matches of the night. It was Bianca Belair, the EST, taking her title, winning a title back. Technically not her title, but since they switched, it all makes sense. The Raw Women's title from the man, Becky Lynch.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'd put this as probably the best wrestled match. I mean, you can maybe do the Matt Kid Rhodes, Seth Rollins, but this would probably, the better one. Like, but she's definitely on the cusp. Two straight championship wins at WrestleMania over Sasha and Becky, so that's pretty big.
I thought Bianca was buried after Becky beat her.
Yeah, well, that's why you don't ever
It's
listen. That's why,
SummerSlam.
like what Vince McMahon said, you never listen to people on the internet.
The internet overreacted?
No,
What?
couldn't be.
Not the
Internet
internet.
overreacting couldn't be. That was good, and I kind of give shout out to Bianca because this is the second year in a row she's had a really good WrestleMania match with like last year. Her and Sasha won, I think, WWE Moment or something at the ESPYS.
Yeah.
So I think that's really good of the female talent push. This and another match, a couple other matches. I'm just gonna say WWE, well done with your women's division
Yeah.
because there was a point like 6 years, probably 8 years ago. I remember watching WrestleMania when they used to do the women's battle Raw. I left and went to go get food because I did not care.
Because like
Um,
the treatment of the time they would give the female wrestlers was borderline disrespectful. But like,
Well,
really,
it's a little
They had a man win the
sexualized.
battle royal.
yeah, so I'm glad they finally invested in talent. It's the best female talented female wrestlers they've ever had.
Women's
So
wrestling's never been better.
oh
yeah,
yeah,
no,
it's
yeah,
like it's they got a lot of quality. I was gonna say between the four horsewomen, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Shayna Baszler, like you got a lot of people that can win that either belt, and I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. They would
and
definitely have the potential to do it, and they have ones that are probably up and coming as well that could win, like Liv
yeah,
Morgan. I think they've done well. If you watched NXT 2.0, what they've done with Mandy Rose, recreating her characters, made it really good. Nikita Lyons is a huge favorite, and it's kind of nice just to see so that they're not dependent on one person. You can see there's several people in case somebody gets hurt. You know.
Yeah.
The women's division is stacked.
Oh yes, it
yeah,
is.
like
And
even
I
like
mean Bailey's not even back either.
nope.
So like Bailey's been gone for
Oscar's
a
not
while.
even back.
And I haven't really. It's not really suffered at all for those with missing Bailey or Oscar. So great job. Next match we'll talk about is the American Nightmare making his return and defeating the Seth frickin' Rollins.
I'm not overly too enthused about Cody Rhodes. This was a good match. I don't know if it was the best one of the weekend, but this was this was the longest match of night one. I don't know if it didn't reach the level I wanted to just because there really wasn't anything at stake. There's really no storyline there between the two, you know?
I liked there were spots I liked. I liked the spot near the end where Cody did two of his finishers and then stopped and did the dusty punches. I thought that was pretty cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. I will say it was a good way to bring Cody back
Yep,
of
good way to do it.
WrestleMania. Again, I'm not the biggest Cody Rhodes fan either, but I felt it's a solid move to get him back as a free agent because he's still a good, he's a good wrestler. And I think if he becomes heel, I might like him better. I think his heel work
The only thing
has
about
been
him is like
better.
Cody Rhodes, even in AEW, just seems so adamant about not being a heel. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a while before you see that.
His promo on Raw pretty much said it's
It's
babyface
gonna be
all
a
the
while.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what was funny about his
I
promo on
just figured
Raw
he'd be
was
a face
like
for a while.
it's like the same promos he cuts in AEW. Like I really just I like his promo was good, but like I need to see promos where he doesn't talk about his dad. I just need to see him cut a promo without mentioning it because that's just it's a good way for him to get a reaction from the crowds to mention his father.
We'll see.
I mean, we'll
See
see.
what they
Like
got.
he'll be good. I really don't want him to be the one to beat Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Here's why I feel he maybe for one of the belts, but not both, because I feel Vince. You know how Vince McMahon's kind of petty
Yeah.
with like the stuff from WCW. I really have a hard time seeing Vince saying, "Oh, the guy I just strapped to the moon and made undefeated. I'm gonna get Cody Rhodes, who went to AEW, and that's gonna be the guy who I have beat him for both belts."
I don't see Money and Cody Rhodes being the guy to carry a company. So I don't want him to be the one to beat Roman. Brock Lesnar can't do it, then Cody Rhodes shouldn't be able to do it.
That's why I don't see it. Like if Austin, I think it's gonna be. I really think it's gonna be a homegrown person. Maybe I'm wrong.
Braun Breaker?
I was
That would
very
be
wrong
alright.
in this WrestleMania,
Yeah,
so
you
don't
could
take
do
my word for it.
Breaker. You could run back with Drew McIntyre. There's plenty
Seth
of
All the
options.
Rollins.
time, I wouldn't be surprised if they waited another year and something. They're probably going to try and do Austin Theory for that would be a massive push for.
Yeah.
Again, if they're going to use a year or two,
You
I
ain't
don't know
feeling that,
when
Max?
that
You ain't
man's
feeling
losing
that?
the belt. I don't know when that man's losing the belt.
No
Okay,
A-Town down from Max.
let's get to our next match. It was once again another great wrestling match. It is the Queen Charlotte Flair retaining her championship versus Rowdy Ronda Rousey.
I know Jacob and Phil probably don't remember this match much since they were busy watching
Yeah,
Coach K's last game.
we don't need to talk about it, man.
Got some hurt feelings still. But I was surprised to see Ronda lose, but they kind of probably want to extend that to WrestleMania Backlash or wherever the next pay per view is going to be.
Yeah, backlash.
Yeah, the so greatly named WrestleMania Backlash.
Yeah, I don't like that one bit. But yeah, the finish. I mean, I like the finish that extends the feud, and it surprised a lot of people because they expected Rousey to win, so it kind of just makes her wait a little longer.
And it's a little bit unique to see someone lose to a big boot. You don't normally see that. Just a random
Yeah, there's no
lose.
harm in losing to Charlotte Flair, the best female wrestler of all time.
Oh, I'm careful, Jacob. The internet doesn't like to talk nice about Charlotte Flair.
See, people just like my take on Phil and my takes on Kobe. They're afraid of the truth.
Oh my God.
Well, and like we said in the past off the show, is that most women's best match has been against Charlotte Flair. So it's no coincidence she can't be carried every match. There has to be, the common theme is, hey, Charlotte's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of two things are true. All right. Yeah, I enjoyed. It was pretty good for the parts I saw, and like I said, I think it'd be cool to see where else they go with it for right now.
Yeah,
Because
yeah. I think no matter what, I think it ends with Rousey getting the belt. I
Yeah,
don't think that's.
she's definitely gonna. She might even get it next pay per view for all we know.
yeah,
But
and
They probably didn't want to switch both women's belts on the same night. So
Mhm.
that maybe played a part into it. Since they like, Ronda, you're gonna win it anyway. We'll just delay it a month or
Mhm.
whatever. For the main event match, since they didn't have the main event here,
Mhm.
segue to the main event, which was started with the KO show, Stone Cold, and then morphed into a match, which we were all surprised to see Stone Cold taking the bumps that he did. We thought it would be a quick stunner, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I was impressed that he was
yeah,
able
you
to take all those bumps.
can tell he's been training, getting ready for it. Yeah, because
dude,
quite a bit of bumps he took. That I was like, oh,
that
okay.
suplex
Stone
on the
Cold.
concrete, I was like, Austin,
Yeah.
what are you doing? You don't need to do it.
Mhm.
You
Very
can just tell Kevin Owens is like, I'm making this the safest suplex I've ever done in my life, dude.
don't
And
mess
it
this up.
really wasn't a bad match. It was really
No,
entertaining. I mean,
no.
this WrestleMania was really entertaining. It's like one of the better ones in recently.
I think what I liked about this WrestleMania, and the thing is, what people need to remember, WrestleMania is also a spectacle because this is their big event that gets even the mainstream audience of the people who don't watch WrestleMania all the time or wrestling all the time and don't watch shows in and out and kind of keep up with it. Like the very casuals even will pay attention to this. and I like even their spectacles, like this match, like this one, Logan Paul going there. Later on, we'll talk about the Sami Zayn, uh, Johnny and Johnny Knoxville match. Like spectacles were still good and very entertaining, and I think they did that well. Of WWE understands it doesn't always need to be a great lesson match. Sometimes you just need spectacles that are entertaining because that's what's gonna keep fans engaged and make it, like we've talked about, mainstream. And that's why WWE has had the success. If you watch the first WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan and Mr. T was not a great match, but it's a spectacle that's gonna get people interested. Until other companies learn that, I don't think they're gonna become
No,
mainstream.
Phil, don't you understand? Every match needs people doing Canadian destroyers. Every match.
Not every match needs to be a 5-star classic, everybody. Not every match. Sometimes it's gonna be good. But yeah, it was good. What I would say also the build up, because I'm not the biggest Kevin Owens fan.
Right.
Especially face Kevin Owens. I really could care less. Heel Kevin Owens is pretty good. But the build up,
He did really good with this build up.
oh yeah, the build up from both ways, I think was really good of the tease, how much they kept teasing it.
Yeah, because Kevin Owens had to pretty much build the whole thing himself. I thought he did a great job getting the heat. I think it was 2 weeks ago by pretending to be Stone Cold. That folded. You saw all the people in the crowd getting their cell phones out when the music popped, waiting for Stone Cold, and you just get Kevin Owens in a ball cap, and all the faces of the fans that were disappointed. He got huge heat from that. It was fun. I mean, it was the match itself. According to this, lasted about 14 minutes. Like you said, he took the suplex on the concrete. And then he also took a nasty bump into the ring post on the outside. So he did pretty good for having 19 years of ring rust.
You
And the ring
remember?
rust was evident at some points. Like when he did some of the stomps, he was much slower with the
Yeah,
stomps
well,
than he
he
was.
was walking around a little stiff, you know.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, he is 57,
yeah,
and it's
and
been
Yeah.
19 years.
No
with all
excuse.
that, he certainly this exceeded our expectations of what a match between them two would have been.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
pretty good.
It shows how much WWE trusts Kevin Owens because they just won't put anyone in a match with Stone Cold.
I also liked how
Um,
they didn't hype it as a match at first, so like it was hyped as an
right.
appearance in the Kevin Owens show. And so, like, if you're a fan in tennis, I feel like you got something extra with them announcing a match, during. So,
Mhm.
like, because if they announced it as a match before in the weeks leading up, people, your expectations probably went pretty high. But like, the way they did it, it just worked so much better.
Also kept us guessing because we all thought it may go to a match, but they didn't really announce this. Like, okay, where is this exactly going to go? And I know some people probably like, well, why is Stone Cold and Kevin Owens main eventing over one of these other matches? No, I'm sorry, if Stone Cold wants to wrestle a
It's
match, he's
Stone
main
Cold.
eventing.
I
I
mean,
mean,
come on.
period.
Yeah,
That's just the way it's going to be.
it's Stone Cold. Come on, that like the energy from Stone Cold after it to watch a match would have been like just pointless.
I love that WrestleMania is now 2 nights, and I love that most of the PLEs going forward are going to be on Saturdays. I love both of these changes. Please don't change it again.
Yeah, that would be great because if not, you would have a couple of these matches you would have had to take away.
We love wrestling, but we have a breaking point. Okay.
Yeah. Let's go into our next one. So we're gonna go with night 2. We're gonna start off with the Raw Tag Team Triple Threat match where RK Bro defeated the Street Profits and Alpha Academy.
I wish they had given Alpha Academy the mic beforehand because Chad Gable is a heat-seeking magnet with the
Yeah.
microphone with both of his catchphrases. So I wish they had done that. I do wish WWE would give Alpha Academy a little bit more wins so they keep losing. They lost again on the Raw after WrestleMania. I think there's some potential with that team. But of course, RK Bro and Street Profits also got potential, so they have a pretty good tag team division coming up right now.
It definitely seems like with Street Profits that, like, at least with Montez, he was definitely leaning a bit heelish at Mania. So
They're definitely
I
going
wonder if
heel.
they're about to turn.
And they're going heel with the past things they've done. They're
And
going
then
heel.
Dawkins shaved his beard, and a lot of times when they go, some people when they switch from heel to face, they change the look up a little bit. Maybe that's played into it. Maybe that's foreshadowing. Hey, we're not going to be the good guys here soon.
Which I
So
think they needed to because you needed something else.
I mean, it seems like they maxed
Against
out where they're
Dale.
going to be as a face right now.
Yeah.
Is this the longest Randy Orton's been in a tag team and not turned on somebody?
I
If you
probably
don't count Evolution.
Yeah, I mean, probably the longest, because I don't know how long our Reddit RKO would have lasted. But after the match, then he had the whole Chad Gable and Gable Stevenson, uh, which I wonder if they're going to end up. I hope they don't change Chad Gable's name again if they're going to bring out Gable Stevenson just because they both have Gable.
Yeah, just
But
call him Chad. Like, no, we can't do that.
um, but obviously WWE has very high hopes for Gable Stevenson. He showed up like 3 times on camera, and then he
Yeah.
had that spot. So they have
And
really high hopes.
Stephanie McMahon mentioned him by name during her promo. I forget if it was during night 1 or night 2, but she mentioned him by
Oh,
name as one
yeah.
of the future superstars.
Speaking of night 2, we forgot to discuss the opener. Triple H coming out and officially
Yes.
retiring.
Yeah.
Good
Yes,
to see him back. Good to see him back and looking all right. But yeah, it's time. It's time for him to go with his health issues.
yeah, because he hadn't been around. We hadn't really seen or heard from him since September or so. And then he came out with the interview the week before WrestleMania saying, he's retiring, he has the
Yeah.
defibrillator and all that.
Little
So yeah, it was nice.
little did we know that his match with Batista would end up being both of their retirement matches.
He can't take the risk of getting that his defibrillator going off in the middle of a match. He can't
Yeah.
take that risk.
But always sad to see it in an era. But you gotta do what you gotta do for your health. So
We'll move on to the next match. The next match was Bobby Lashley defeating Omos by
Moss.
pin.
Yeah. Obviously, Lashley is now full face. Especially after what happened on Raw with MVP turning on him. But no, I thought this match was fine. I thought the right man whenever Omos' sell when he got suplexed, the surprised look on his face was really well done. He's getting better. With his size, he's always going to be somewhat limited, but I think they're doing a really good job with him. Also, I think he could be a big attraction going forward.
I think it's also give him time. Like the
Yeah.
man's been in the company a year, if even. Like give him time. Not everybody comes out and it's
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar all of a sudden, and like give them time to get better.
And I keep reading online and people like, that's killed. They want Omos to be pretty much done with because he's slow and blind. Yeah, he's 7'3", 400+ pounds. He's always going to be slow.
I know,
But
right?
you can't tell me he has not
He's
improved since his time there. He's getting better. The only thing he will never be. He kind of does have the Ahmed Johnson promo skills. You can't really understand what he's saying. But
Well, that's why they got
why
MVP.
now- exactly. That's why you got MVP to do the talking for him. So now I think that's going to be a good pairing. And I think he has a lot of potential here. I think he could maybe take a Braun Strowman kind of turn because Braun Strowman was similar. They built him up slow, squash matches. He wasn't really good wrestling at first, but then he got a lot better, and he became one of the top stars of the company before they got rid of him.
Yeah,
So
I'm interested to see what they do with Lashley as a face because I'm Phil and I are pretty big fans of the Almighty. So.
Pretty good. The next one we're going to talk about is the spectacle. Invade with the Jackass cast and involving a mousetrap to finish the match. Johnny Knoxville defeating Sami Zayn. We'll start off with the Mountain because he's got to talk about one of the greatest moments in WrestleMania history.
I mean, can we talk about Wee Man scoop slamming Sami Zayn? I mean, and it was a crisp scoop slam too. I mean, I was impressed.
so beautiful. It was a stalling scoop slam too. He held it.
You'll be asking your children, where were you when Wee Man slammed Sami Zayn?
Yeah, I mean this match was way better than it had any right to be.
Yeah, Sammy sold the heck out of everything. He did a good job.
Yeah.
Well,
and they did a good job of making it to like where Sami Zayn doesn't look like an absolute bum by losing.
I don't think Sami Zayn lost anything by losing to Johnny Knoxville. Zayn got hit with a bowling ball, mousetrap, table with mousetraps on it.
bro, that giant hand spot was hilarious.
That was
Yeah.
hilarious.
I mean, homeboy got tased. I mean, what else that was doing?
Yeah, and I gotta give WWE. Sami Zayn was probably the most I've turned around on a superstar because I could have. If you asked me a year ago, I did not care about Sami Zayn probably a year and a half ago. But him with the conspiracy theory, and once they turned him heel, like he's done some great work. Like that is prime Zayn what he needs to be.
Yep.
Yeah, like the whole he's the average. I was like, I could care less. But the conspiracy theorist, hilarious.
Yeah, he's probably never going to win a world title, but I think if you keep him like this, he'll have a great career in the WWE as a mid card.
Also, yeah, he may have lost, but he has a WrestleMania memory now. People are going to remember this match.
Yeah, I mean, WWE did a great job with these celebrity matches. I don't think all of the celebrities here, I think, did a good job.
Yep.
Knoxville. We'll talk about Pat McAfee in a little bit. But Logan Paul, Knoxville, and Pat I think all of them did great. I think it's better than most of the celebrities they've had. Bad Bunny was really good last year too. So they've had a good streak of these celebrities coming in and not looking out too bad at or too much out of place.
Well, it seems like they're actually getting celebrities who actually watch and know the product and actually care to invest their time
Yeah.
into it, which is good. Because, like, back then they would get people like, Mickey Rourke, who obviously couldn't care less and was just there
Yeah, he
to
don't
promote,
watch
like,
it.
the wrestler.
You have enough famous people that are fans of wrestling that
Right.
was really, I think that's been well done.
And again they know when not to take themselves too serious. They didn't take themselves too serious with this match, and it was as good as this could have been. This could not have been done any better.
Man, how could you not? Even and Pat McAfee's commentary really helped sell it as well.
His
The
commentary
only thing
when
I didn't
Party
like
Boy
was
came out was really funny.
yeah, the only thing I didn't like was seeing a little bit more of him than I wanted to.
Yeah, it was
So,
cameraman. Don't do that again.
Yeah,
Don't do that
about
again.
cheeks, talking about sweet cheeks.
I know.
those sheets ain't sweet to me.
Mm-mm. Don't do that again.
After the Knoxville match was Naomi and Sasha Banks defeating Carmella, Queen Zelina, Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, and then the team of Natalia and Shayna Baszler. I guess the most notable thing is that Sasha Banks finally won a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, I would have liked it if it was like a singles match instead, because it would have been like a bigger match. Like if she had lost this, should have been I think 0-7 at WrestleMania. Then you could do a whole storyline for next year's WrestleMania, saying like, oh, she just can't win, and then like, have it be like a title match or something, like a singles title match, and then she finally wins. I'm happy for her to finally win, but I just think they could have definitely gotten more mileage out of it.
Same. I wish they did. Well, I wish they had waited because I would say I thought Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley were gonna win. Is what I had. Granted, everybody knew it was either Sasha Banks or Rhea Ripley, and like one of those two were winning. But
Well,
I'm with you. I was hoping they were gonna hold it for her to have a championship match next year versus probably like Charlotte or something, and then be like that would be the big storyline, and that would be really have that WrestleMania moment of like this was her first win, a big match, huge match. But this match does also again accentuate. It was a good match, and it's really showing you there's a lot to do with the women's division. Even with the women's tag team, you got tag teams you can use.
Yeah, and these two winning it makes people care about the women's tag team belt a lot more than having a team of Carmella and Queen Zelina hold it.
definitely seems like they're going with in a certain direction with Ripley.
Yeah, with their actions on Raw, seems like
Yeah, I'm thinking she might be eventually a member of Edge's faction.
she would fit right in.
Yeah, exactly. She would fit right
Speaking
in,
of
and
Edge,
definitely seems like
speaking of Edge's faction, let's go into that match because that's the next match. Edge defeated AJ Styles in the longest match of this WrestleMania, day 1 and day 2.
I'm not surprised at all.
No, I think everyone pretty much knew this would be the
Dude,
longest one.
Edge loves long matches, which is fine. Edge matches are
Yeah, he
really
does.
Edge matches. Yeah, Edge matches are really
How long
good.
would the Edge vs Triple H match be?
About an hour. About an hour. I like the match a lot. Unfortunately, speaking of, remember AJ's injury? So there's a video. It wasn't the pyro. He bumped his
No.
face into the WrestleMania X on the way out, and so that's what scratched his face up.
Yeah, yeah. If anyone didn't see AJ Styles during his entrance, he had just had blood running down his cheek, and we're like, "What the heck did he do?"
See, this was one of those moments where you missed Pat McAfee on mic because you know he would have brought it up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because people on the mic was like, "I'm like, I know y'all see this man bleeding from his cheek
Yeah.
because it was running down his face."
I don't notice how this.
It was a good match. Edge and AJ, they're definitely probably gonna have another match, and it was really good. I liked that it wasn't they both didn't like spam their finishers. I like the fact that one spear ended it. It was obviously like when a springboard into a spear. I also really like the pairing of Damian Priest and Edge.
True, because Priest needed something.
Priest needed something, and this pairing with Edge just seems like money.
And this Edge character is still in this infancy. I think it's only the third week or so. He's kind of taken this look. But there's a lot of possibilities where they can go with this. And then there's some rumors of more people being added to his group, whatever that name's going to be. So him going over here is probably the right move since Edge just turned heel. So you probably didn't want to take the air out of his heel turn just yet because AJ Styles can always regain momentum. So he doesn't lose anything here. The next match we had was Sheamus and Ridge Holland with Butch defeating the New Day by pinfall in about 1 minute and 40 seconds. Anybody have any
really a
thoughts on
match.
this, or do we even care?
I do like Book.
I like Butch.
Yeah, he was funny.
You
Shout
know.
out to Big
Yeah,
E.
yeah.
He's like a champ.
Listen,
Yeah, I don't like that they changed his name, Pete Dunne's name to Butch, but I do like what they're doing with him of being like a Scrappy Doo type character, like let me at him, let me
Yeah,
at him.
Yeah, he
yeah,
was funny.
being like just
And,
a super
and,
hothead.
and it's like you got these two big muscle dudes in Ridge Hall and Sheamus, and they have to hold him back. You know?
yeah,
And
they're
having a hard time-
struggling.
Yeah, they're struggling to hold him back. He's just like a mad pit bull. That was pretty
Yeah.
much the only notable thing.
Yeah, they can get some mileage of it. Well, I do like the New Day's tribute to Big E. I do like that too.
So we'll see where that goes. But the next match we have is Pat McAfee defeating Austin Theory.
Another good
match. A very
good match with a celebrity. Who's,
Pat McAfee surprised me with some of his athletic moves he did.
well, he
Yeah,
didn't
he's
surprise me
athletic,
because
but his body's not looked.
I saw his NXT match with Adam Cole and he did some of the same stuff, so I wasn't surprised, but I knew y'all would be because I knew y'all didn't see the
I was
match,
surprised.
first match.
Look, jumping to the top rope like that was impressive.
I was surprised they
you-
actually had McAfee win. I thought Austin Theory would win, but it makes sense obviously with what they did after with McMahon coming in, and still looking good for his age. His body he refuses to let his body degrade.
76 years old.
I will give props to McAfee of like you again see like he really loves one WWE. That's one of your best signings in years
Yeah.
because Pat McAfee has been absolute gold.
Mm-hmm. As a commentator, as a wrestler, he's got the complete package. If WWE does it right, they should have him there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And then
Yeah, well, and like Pat McAfee, what's good with him is that he legitimately loves wrestling.
Oh yeah, for sure.
oh yeah, if you listen to us because I watched the show the next day and he was explaining everything. Like I don't think he fully knew that he was Stone Cold was supposed to come out or he was supposed to take that stunner from Stone Cold. And then that part where he was drinking the beer at the end,
Yeah.
when the camera caught him, that was hilarious.
Hilarious.
Because he was talking about when he started drinking the beer. He was like, yeah, when I started drinking the first one and then I take the stunner, he's like, you got to be careful because you could like nearly choke on that very easily. And so he's like, at the end, the beer was good, so I actually wanted to taste it. So, I was just over there on the side just trying to drink it.
And I also like that they gave us one more McMahon Austin appearance, and it wouldn't be a McMahon Austin appearance without a horrible soul stunner from
Yeah.
Vince.
It might
That
just
might
be
be
the
his
worst
worst one.
one I've ever seen, but yeah.
Vince has a lot of bad stunner sales, but I mean that's just kind of the charm with it. You just know Vince is gonna, especially outside of States,
Yeah.
he's gonna take a bad sell. So
It's just so crazy to me that he's taken probably the most stunners like ever, and he's
Yeah.
not had one good sell.
Also, this time, like his body realized it was 76 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if he thought Austin was going to come down without kicking the gut, but I'm like, well, Austin always kicks the gut first. But it just seems like when he did the gut, McMahon was about to put his head down and went down on a knee because I think he thought he was about to
Yeah.
take the stunner.
I don't know why my man was confused. I'm like, man, you know exactly how Stone Cold does this. I don't know why you're confused.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it
but
seemed like he was a little bit early in a lot of stuff. Like he was like when Austin Theory's music came on, like
Yeah.
That wasn't
he was
supposed to
surprised,
happen.
he thought it was
yeah,
Stone Cold.
well, I don't think they were supposed to play Theory's music. That's what I
They
think.
weren't supposed to. Pat McAfee said it the next day. They were not supposed to. That was an accident.
Play that off a little bit well.
Yeah, like paranoia. Yeah, like like I did like he kind of recovered it because he's just like obviously over the years he's just expecting it, especially with Austin in the building. So he's
He's
like,
got,
oh,
like, PTSD.
he's paranoid about it. Yeah, he's paranoid. So overall, but another nice spectacle.
It was cool to see Stone Cold both nights. Big pop both nights. Again, the stunner on Pat McAfee is going to be legendary. Stunner on Austin
That was
Theory
great.
too. Austin Theory. got
Austin
some good
Theory,
offense.
great sell, great
Yeah,
sell.
he did.
He got some air on that.
We then had the main event, the winner takes all, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, and
Excuse
Roman
me.
Reigns wins.
You will announce him right. The tribal chief.
Tribal chief, sir.
The one. We the one.
You can't see me, but my fingers up in the air too.
Acknowledge him. Acknowledge him.
I'm hoping this was due to Roman Reigns maybe dislocating his shoulder, but the match was a lot shorter than I think it should have been. And
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I was hoping for a lot more from these two. It wasn't a bad match, but we've seen this before, and
No,
with the
no.
stakes involved, I was kind of hoping for more.
Yeah.
So again,
Yeah.
I hope it was an injury that made them kind of change their plans. I hope this was not the
Yeah,
plan
it
going
did.
in.
I'm
Yeah,
betting
the
it
ending seemed very
was.
rushed to
I
me.
do like the ending though because it was like Paul Heyman willed Roman Reigns up, and he's like, this
Yeah.
is your tribal chief, this is you, you know.
Yeah, but
So
this match it was 12
Yeah, I
minutes.
like
It should
that.
have
Yeah.
been longer.
yeah, it should have been
Yeah,
longer, but
I did think it was funny how Heyman helped Roman Reigns get to the
Yeah,
rope by he pushed the rope with one finger. He's like,
No, he willed it. He
yeah, he will.
willed
oh, that's
And
funny.
then
the
Oh,
Paul
the
I've seen
Heyman
that.
second
willed
the
it.
second Brock Lesnar went near Paul Heyman, he's like, oh, it was all Roman's idea.
Just a weasel,
I mean,
dude.
Paul Heyman was hilarious.
And also props to Brock Lesnar when he took the microphone and did his own entrance. That was also really
and
good.
his voice didn't crack, so we did good.
Yep.
That was
And I would say Brock Lesnar sells a spear like no one else. That last spear that ended that looked like a devastating spear.
Yeah.
I was very confused why they did like a reverse spear, but that's like the second time tonight, that night they did a
Oh yeah,
reverse
yeah.
spear.
I know, right?
Yeah,
We've never seen
I
it
like
before.
that. I wish to see more of that because I mean, a spear to the kidney would hurt.
Or or your vertebrae. I mean, shoot, dude, go on now, straight
Also,
to your spine.
But I think
yeah,
the right
I
guy
know.
went over. I honestly would not be surprised to see Roman keep the belt for another year.
Yeah, the
Rock
If
versus
he's not
Roman.
injured, if he's not
Rock versus
injured,
Roman.
He
he
seemed
wasn't
fine.
injured
He
on
seemed
Raw.
fine. He seemed fine on Raw.
I think at worst he separated his shoulder.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he was wincing when he was lifting
Yeah.
both
yeah.
belts up.
Even the next night
He
was.
won't wrestle for a few weeks to a month, probably. I imagine, but I imagine he'll be back.
Which
Well,
honestly, I like that
the
he
tribal chief
doesn't.
deserves a vacation.
I like that he doesn't wrestle every week because it's like when Hunter used to say with they used to do with the Hulk Hogan of like
Hogan.
Hulk Hogan wouldn't wrestle all the time, so it'd be an event when he did. I think they need to do that with Roman of like it's an event when Roman actually wrestles.
Right.
So it's especially now where it's like, well, what else does he have to do? And Friday we got to tune in and watch what his plans are.
Yeah, it's
Um,
like why would Roman waste his time wrestling some bum on SmackDown? Come on now.
right. I hope that Brock Lesnar doesn't take one of his sabbaticals because he was on nearly every week, and it was cool to see this new Cowboy Brock. So I'm interested. He was not on the Raw at the WrestleMania, so it'd be interesting to see if he's on SmackDown or if he's just going to disappear for a while.
I think he's going to disappear.
Yeah, that's my. I'm
Which would be a
guessing he's gonna
shame.
disappear.
It'd be a shame because this is his new era of Brock, so it's cool to see. And I was wondering where they would go after this because I don't know who'd you have a feud with after he feuded with Roman. I don't know who's there to feud with. He already did Drew McIntyre, so he can't do that again.
It would be perfect time for him to leave right now. I think he did well. He's put in
Yep.
a lot of time. He probably wants to go relax on his ranch and do his
I
own
go
thing for a
hunting.
while.
Get his teeth cleaned.
You know that's not happening. But that does it for WrestleMania. But overall, I think we all enjoyed it. The ending, we will all agree, probably felt a little flat, felt a little rushed. But again, if there was an injury to Roman, it makes sense. And if we find out differently, then maybe we could judge that more harshly. But I'm of the belief that something happened there, so I won't be too harsh on it. But overall, I thought this was a fantastic WrestleMania.
Yep.
Like Jacob said earlier, definitely one of the better recent ones. I don't think there's really much to complain about here.
Oh,
Nope.
there's one. There's one thing. WWE, just because you can go to 12 o'clock doesn't mean you have to.
Yeah.
All those video packages when they were not wrestling that day, like
Right.
let's chill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Let's
all
chill.
the
Nice to hear
recaps
about
from the
Mindy.
previous, all the recaps from night one on night two. I'm like, we saw it yesterday. I
Yeah.
don't need
And,
all
and why can't we start at 7, not 8? Let's start at 7. Think about us on the East Coast for once.
hmm
Isn't that right? I never do.
Thank you guys for tuning in. That is our WrestleMania recap rating. I guess 1 to 10. Would you scale it on?
About an
Seven
eight.
and a half.
Yep, like 8.
I'll give it an 8. I'll
Yeah,
give
about
it an 8.
8, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that you heard our ratings. Let us know what you think. What you thought. Were there any moments you wish you hit? I will say again, if you have not seen Pat McAfee's show from Monday, after it does give some insight and everything. It's pretty funny. especially when he talks about the pyros and how they have to stand in the middle. He has a whole thing about that. So thank you guys. Great job to WWE. Shout out to you guys for another good WrestleMania. Can't wait to do this again or probably do let us know with the recap. Maybe we'll recap probably the next big one, probably SummerSlam is what
SummerSlam,
we'd recap next. Let us know. Thank you to all our fans. Tina Johnson, Tina Smith, a couple others that have been email gave us some comments. Thank you for everything. Again, my name is Legacy. You can follow me at wisdom_legacy.
And my name's Max.
I'm Bobby D3.
Vitamin J.
And Hunter.
All right, and see you guys and let the discussion begin.